Cunningham & Cunningham has been offering complete equine insurance for over 45 years. We continually strive to provide the best insurance, answers, and services to our clients. We've provided many standardbred owners with competitively priced insurance to help control those unpredictable events. Contact us today. Let Cunningham & Cunningham provide you with the best insurance options.
I'm Heather Vitale for Harness Racing Update. If you're talking about the subject of young stakes winning horses, 2017 United States Trainer of the Year Brian Brown is one of the most sought after conditioners in the business. And with big popularity comes big numbers in the barn and big potential for a lot of star power. Okay, I got a lot to talk about with Brian Brown today. This is going to be an epic interview. Lots of Brian Brown horses. Okay, so first, we're going to start with some horses that were Supers 2-year-olds last year. Proof being one of them. And when we came to see you for Tuesday training last year, you loved Proof. A Rocknroll dance, second foal out of Ginger and Fred, the world champion. He had a great year.
Far outside, late kick from Proof, and Proof blows them all the way in the lane. David Miller and Proof overpowering late to win by 3 lengths.
He did. I think he was only back a second once, and he actually raced pretty good that day. But he was just the type of horse that, even though he wasn't at his best every time, he still raced good and always gave a good effort. He made a little over 400, so he was my best horse last year, but he's coming back okay now, so hopefully he'll have a big year this year.
How about High on Paydays? He did really well as well.
He was a surprise. He's a real homebred. The people that own him had the mare and they own the stud, and from day one when they brought him in, he was a great looking horse, but real laid back, lazy. He never gave us no signs that he was a really good horse. But he was kind of like Proof. He always just went out and did it. I always thought that he was an overachiever, but, you know, he kept doing it, so I guess he was better than I thought he was. But he's coming back pretty good, too. He's been in 2 minutes. Should have a good year again.
Yeah, he won like 5 out of 7 races last year. Ohio bred did really, really well.
Right.
Yeah. Now, you know, one of my favorite Brian Brown horses is Rock Candy. I don't know if that's just the name or what. Pet Rock out of Cotton Candy, but not too shabby of a horse either.
No, he was a really nice horse. He would always seem to kind of get some trips where he'd get in trouble, and things didn't always work out for him. I thought through the summer he was better than High on Paydays, but High on Paydays always seemed to get there, and Rock Candy always in trouble. But, you know, credit to High on Paydays, he got the job done. But Rock Candy was second in the final. He went to Lexington, was second both weeks, paced in 50 one week. For an Ohio bred, that was pretty good for him.
Yeah, again, my favorite Brian Brown horse that you just heard about. How's he coming back?
He's been in, he's a little bit behind because we stopped and froze the curb. He's been in like 2-2, so, but we got to kind of not start over, but we had to slow down. He could be back to 2-2 by this weekend.
Okay, all right. Good news then. Working on a mystery. Lately Respite, oh my gosh, he is so fast. He was like, he has a 49 record, doesn't he?
Yes, and actually, he wasn't at his best that day. He was really good. He had stuck his foot through the gate and run one of the tines down in his foot, wound up with an infection. Didn't think he'd race last year, and his groom, Ashley, never gave up and got him sound and back racing. That horse won his first lifetime start, 52-4 at Scioto. 3 wide, a quarter, and 27 apiece. He won in 50 at Delaware, 50-3, won in 50 and a piece at Lexington, was really good. The last week he won 49-3, but it wasn't the same horse. So we done some changes, and he was seen pretty good going into the Breeders' Crown elimination, but he bled, and he didn't race good that day. So he'll be on Lasix this year. Hopefully he comes back and is consistent again and turns into the horse we think he is.
And Air Force Hanover, this is the final one we're going to talk about. That was a freshman last year, sophomore this year. Definitely looking forward to Air Force Hanover. Hit some sickness problems last year, didn't he?
He had a little bit of everything. Never had any lameness problems. He was a June foal, so it took him a while to kind of grow into himself. He was a little bit on the dumb side early. He was either wanting to go too fast. We changed his bridle. Then he was too quiet. We finally got the right combination. Horse raced great in Delaware. Raced good both weeks in Lexington, and then was tremendous in the Breeders' Crown elimination, but he bled that day too. And he also had a liver infection, so he had a lot of things wrong. Then when he went into the final of the Breeders' Crown, it showed he didn't race good.
All right, well, so we're going to move on to our 2-year-olds, but I just always love talking with Brian because I get so much insight about what's happening in the stable. Good stuff. All right, now we've got the 2-year-olds. How many 2-year-olds do you have in training?
We have 50 this year.
Okay, all right. And you have one trotter, is that right?
I've got 3 trotters, 3 2-year-olds. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to talk about one of them. It's a Sebastian K, and it's first crop of Sebastian K. So who is that?
His name is Crosstown Traffic. Turning into a pretty nice horse. We haven't been a lot. I thought he might have been getting a little sore, so I gave him 2 weeks off. Had Rick Mathers x-rayed him, and his knees look good, but I still just gave him time off. And he's coming back pretty good. Really strong horse. So this is why I gave you his name. I really like this horse.
Okay. And he's actually a $55,000 purchase from Lexington. So, and you love him.
Right. He's actually got like a world champion in the 2nd and 3rd dam. So there's family enough there that if he can put it together, he could be a nice horse.
All right, we're going to talk about one filly, a pacing filly, Blazin Grace, and she's a sweet Lou.
Right. So far, she has not had a bad day. She's a fairly long-legged. She's not a real heavy horse, but she's kind of fine bone, so she's probably never going to be. Good gaited, great attitude. You know, you can go to the front. She keeps right on going. You come from behind, she'll go right by them. Right now, we really like this one, too.
All right, now we're going to move on to the colts. Baba O'Reilly, a Santa Fe Beachboy.
Yeah, Santa Fe is the first crop of some beaches we bought him in that crop. Was a pretty good horse. He made about $500,000, has a track record at Scioto and the Meadows. And this is his first crop. It's very small, like there's only 6 or 8 of them at the most. I have 2, and this is the nicer one of the 2. He's out of a Jatelo Bell mare, and he's getting kind of aggressive, which probably comes from the Jatelo Bell, but not out of control or nothing, but wants to be a horse already. So we really like this horse, and the owners own Santa Fe, they own the mare, so he's a real homebred too.
Interesting how the characteristics and the manners just go, down the family tree. So we're going to move on to Enough Sun. It's a Somebeachsomewhere, $110,000.
Yeah, I have a new guy, Carl Atley, bought in on this horse with some of my other owners, and they spent some money this year on a couple horses. He was a little behind because he was a Harrisburg horse, and he has OCDs and hocks we had to take out. So he's only been in like 230, but we think he could turn into a nice horse. Really nice looking. He's kind of a tall, thinner, but to me, that's what the Somebeaches are supposed to be. I like them more rugged. That's the best luck I've had with the Somebeaches, the big stout ones. So, but I think he'll get there. So he's a nice horse.
What do you think about Highway Star, $80,000 purchase? A Rockin image, I believe?
Yes. This horse, he surprised me one day. I was supposed to go in 230, and I went in 226, and he did it so easy, I kind of got to going too much. But great attitude, does what you want to do. He's been a pleasant surprise, but, for $80,000, it's not like we stole him, so he better get going.
And the next horse, Later Dudes. I love that name. $80,000 purchase from Lexington?
Yeah, he's a sweet Lou, pretty good family. He, if you see him on the track, it's not like he's the prettiest gaited. He's a good-looking horse, my type, big, strong horse. But he's not had a bad day yet. He wears an ear hood because he can get a little too excited, but with the ear hood, he drives perfect, but a great attitude. And like I said, never a bad day. Wherever you want to go, he goes.
How about Quizzer? He's a $15,000 purchase from Lexington, right? And a very special owner?
This is Gabe Pruitt's horse. He was the breeder, and he wound up buying him back. Now, this horse has got a little more history to him. He was a son of a gun to get broke. He didn't want to go. He'd rear up and strike. He was a real project, and one day we finally said, just let him stay in there. Quit fighting with him, trying to make him behave and everything. And he finally just gave up, and now he's been fine in the barn, and going to the track is where we had the problems. But he's always been good on the track. So he's actually came around and probably been our biggest surprise down here, because he was a real handful to start with, but turning into a nice horse.
How about another Somebeachsomewhere, and it's Seeyou at the Beach?
Well, this is the horse that we liked kind of from the start. We had a little trouble breaking him. He would go to the track and just want to stop and stay in there. And we babied him, and finally we got his teeth done, and I think that was probably the biggest problem. When we come here to Florida, now he like jogs to the track. It's like he can't wait to get out there. But he is the best gated, biggest, strongest, and very laid back. But if you ask him to go, he'll pace right along.
It's funny you mentioned the teeth. I know when you're taking the USTA trainer's exam, if they ever ask you a question, put down teeth as one of the answers, because I'm telling you, it's amazing what a horse will do when their mouth hurts. I mean, they'll do anything and everything.
Anything to get out of it, because it hurts, so they're not going to go.
Yeah, all right. Just a little harness racing 101 from Heather Vitale, so in case you're taking your training test anytime soon. All right, Stanford Court, $35,000 purchase from Springfield.
Yeah, Springfield, Ohio. He's an Ohio bred. He's another Nob Hill High, same as High on Paydays. And we had a sister to him last year that was just an okay filly. She was kind of short and fat. He's a tall, lean horse, but he's a little behind because he had OCDs, but he's really come around. He wasn't great gated early, but he just keeps getting better. And his trainer, Tyler Rush, really likes this horse, so that's why I put him on the list.
Now, we were doing these horses in alphabetical order, and it was just a happy accident that the last horse that we talk about is like the best name, Wigglemejiggleme, a Mr. Wiggles.
Yeah, he's a homebred of VIP stable. They own the mare. And he was another one that was really wild breaking him, and we got his teeth done, and he straightened right up. But turned into a nice horse, has a good attitude, where before he was like out of control. And pacing along, I trained him one day, and we got home pretty good, and he really surprised me. And so that horse moved up the ladder pretty quick.
You know, Brian, it's like for so many years, I know, over a decade anyway, because I've been like looking at your stats and noticing that you're constantly batting each year over 300, more than over 300. It's like hashtag life of Brian. You know, it's extraordinary. What's the secret?
Well, that's probably the most proud thing I am of my career, has been the percentage. We've won races wherever we were. We were at the fairs for a long time, but we still did well and stayed a little above 300. And, now we've got better horses and we're racing for a lot more money. But knock on wood, our percentage has been staying up. And, I got to give credit to the grooms and the help. They're here every day and they work. And my owners let me put the horses where they're supposed to be, and they buy us nice horses. So it kind of all goes into the same package. Everybody has to do their job. And, so far it's worked out for us.
Definitely a winning combination. Thank you, Brian, for being on the show again.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks again to Brian Brown for taking time out of his busy schedule to chat with us at his winter stable at Spring Garden Ranch in Florida. I'm Heather Vitale for Harness Racing Update.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and trusted news source and the fastest growing publication in the game. HRU has you covered with award-winning features and commentary from some of the sport's best writers. Stellar photography, race news, results, entries, handicapping, and video replays. The industry's most comprehensive sales results and Harness Racing's best reader feedback section. And it's all delivered free of charge to your email box multiple times each week. See why HRU is the most trusted news source of the sport's most important people from all facets of the industry. Subscribe today for free. To subscribe, just go to harnessracingupdate.com and then click subscribe for free.